Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to our channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing 5 things we wish we knew before we got married at 21.
If you like this video, subscribe to join the fam and let's get into it.
Alright, so I thought of 2 things that I wish I knew, and then Grant thought of 2 things he wished he knew, and then we both just have one that we shared. So you want to go first with one of yours?
Ladies first.
I knew that was gonna... Okay, I'll do one of mine first. So I literally wrote down, the first one for me is it's not that deep. It's just not as big of a deal as most people make it.
Marriage?
At 21.
Oh, not marriage in
deep.
general, but like marriage young.
Yeah, so yeah, mine is it's not that deep. Like, there's not such a big difference in my book from getting married at 21 than it is like 29, other than you just don't have as many single years to live, which I don't really think contributes a lot to marriage anyway. I think marriage is when you're together, that's the hard part. So in my book, if you're getting married younger, you're just going to have more experience than someone who got married at 30 and is just then starting to share a life together. I think it's a great thing, and I think don't read that much into it. Just make sure that your relationship with the Lord is where it needs to be, and everything else will work out. I just wouldn't stress about it. Like, it's not that deep.
That makes sense. If your relationship with the Lord is where it's supposed to be, you're not going to get all that life experience that people always talk about. Because when they say that, they only mean 1 or 2 things. At the end of the day, I'd rather live my life with my wife versus living single for longer. My first one is how much better her cooking is than mine.
Baby, that's so sweet.
I kind of already knew that because I'd eaten your cooking before. Aww. But what I mean by that is the joy that you bring me by being a wife who cares. Like,
baby, that's so sweet.
Cooking good food and keeping the house in order and keeping everything straight. It's amazing.
So sweet, baby.
It's amazing. If you're about to get married and you're a young guy and you picked the right girl, it'll be better than you think it will be.
Baby.
Just do it.
That is so sweet. And I also want to say, we're going to make another video about this, how to make a marriage work, whatever. For me, I think you just can't go into a marriage like half and half. We're both going to make the meals. We're both going to help clean the house. We're both going to have chores. You have to really look at what the Bible paints, that kind of picture, and that's just not in the Bible. So I think that's why a lot of people go into marriage thinking it's not going to work, especially at a young age, because a lot of people aren't mature enough to do those tasks, let alone share it with somebody, let alone like actually take on the responsibility that they need. So Grant came into the marriage like very much the provider. Like, that's what the Bible speaks about, is the man is the laborer, the provider. And I really wanted to just be a wife, a homemaker, you know, cooking. So I think that's another thing. It doesn't really matter what age you get married as long as your priorities are right. The third one is it's God's design, so it works. And what I mean by that is if you're 21 and thinking like, oh, I don't know if I should get married, like, I don't know. The Bible says whoever, what is it? If you find a wife, you find a good thing.
He who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah, it's the Lord's design. He wants people to get married. So he never went into saying anything about age. And so again, it just doesn't really matter. It's not that deep. As long as it's the Lord's design, which it is, it'll work out. So I just think if you're 21, you're nervous about getting married, just make sure your relationship is right with the Lord. I wish I knew it just wasn't. I would just say it's God's design. It's his perfect picture, and I think, you know, the Lord just loves marriage. Marriage is like such a good thing.
Yeah. Right along with that verse, he who finds a wife. You've probably all seen like the viral clips. You're not a wife when I marry you, you're a wife when I find you. But there is some truth to that. It's about being wife material. Like, if you want to be a wife, start acting like a wife.
For sure.
And your husband will find you.
For sure.
And that goes both ways.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, it goes both ways. What don't you agree with?
We definitely have boundaries, like not like physical boundaries, that too, but in my book, like, I didn't want to have devotions together until we were married. I didn't want to like cook for you a bunch till we were married. I didn't want to live that lifestyle until we were married. I'm not saying be my wife before you're my wife, but don't. We didn't travel together before we were married, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's all part of it. What I think of when I hear like be wife material before you're a wife, I think of just not partying, sleeping around, you know.
Oh yeah, just more worldly stuff.
Yeah, if you want a certain type of man, you need to act a certain type of way.
Yeah, for sure.
And same with a man, probably even more so. If you want a certain type of a wife, a trad wife, you better be ready to be the sole provider and be the leader of that household, which is a big job.
That's a good point.
This is the fourth one here. I said how much easier it is to save money when you're both working together toward a common goal.
Yours are so practical.
Yeah, I was always a spender, so I would be working towards a goal and then moment of weakness, it's all gone, I'm starting over. But even if you're 2 spenders, your moments of weakness are not going to be at the same time, and so you can help each other get through those moments of weakness and continue to save towards your goals, be it a house, a car, boat, whatever. But it's even better because I married a saver, and so she really helps me to not spend on unnecessary things. Especially like in today's economy, nobody's affording a house on a sole income. So, I mean, she does have a job, and so we're working together, 2 paychecks towards a common goal, and it's just a lot easier than doing it by yourself.
I could see that as one of mine too, because I just didn't give myself any grace at all in that area. Like growing up, I wouldn't even buy a coffee. Like I was just that strict on myself.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely on my end too, it's just nice having you as like the spender to help. You know, opposites attract. I feel like that's really true. So it's nice to just go somewhere and be like, it's not gonna break the bank. Like just buy it. You know, it's not that big a deal. So it's kind of nice both ways.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah. All right, the last one that we both talked about and share is that it's not stressful when it comes to wedding planning. That's something that I wish...
It doesn't have to be stressful.
I think it's as stressful as you make it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So it kind of is just up to you. Yeah.
I mean, we planned a big wedding in 5 months, and it wasn't stressful.
Yeah, so I would just say if I could go back, because all I heard, I did a lot of wedding things. I was wedding hair and makeup artist. I worked at a bridal place, wedding flowers. I was very much in the bridal industry for a long time, and all I heard was just, it's stressful and bridezillas and like all this stuff. And I just knew, I don't really think it's going to be like that. But what I would tell someone too, if you're getting married or recently engaged, it doesn't have to be stressful. I don't think I got stressed out one time, and I'm not even exaggerating. It was just all fun for me. I was almost sad when we had nothing else to plan, and then when the wedding was over, I'm like, wait, that's it? You know, I know so many people who are like, I'm so glad that's over. Like, I can relax now, and that just defeats the whole purpose of getting married. Yeah, that's one thing I wish I knew just growing up. Like, it's not gonna be stressful. Getting married at 21 too, I think a lot of people probably think it's, you know, you're just got out of college and it's gonna be like, it was the busiest time of my life and it wasn't even stressful. I was working full-time, I was in college full-time doing an internship, and I was doing an apprenticeship with hair. I was doing a bunch of different things. I just graduated that December and we got married in January. Not to mention we got engaged after my fall semester, planning a wedding like in 4 or 5 months and graduating.
Full load of school,
you know,
apprenticeship and another job up until December. Yeah,
it was just a lot, but it never got stressful for me because, like I said, it's only stressful as you make it.
I remember being stressed like a couple times, but not real stress, just like there's a problem, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. So yeah, those are 5 things that we kind of wish we knew before we got married at 21. If you guys are recently engaged or getting married soon,
let us know in the comments when your wedding date is.
But if you guys enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you are getting married or recently engaged. And subscribe to our channel to join the Bryan fam. And we will see you guys in our next video.
See ya.
Bye guys.